The Magician Tarot Card Meanings. The Magician is one tarot card that is filled with symbolism. The central figure depicts someone with one hand pointed to the sky, while the other hand points to the ground, as if to say as above, so below. This is a rather complicated phrase, but its summarization is that earth reflects heaven, the outer world reflects within, the microcosm reflects the macrocosm, earth reflects God. It can also be interpreted here that the magician symbolizes the ability to act as a go-between between the world above and the contemporary, human world. On his table, the magician also wields all the suits of the tarot. This symbolizes the four elements being connected by this magician, the four elements being earth, water, air, and fire. The infinity sign on his head indicates the infinite possibilities of creation with the will. You may notice many synchronicities, which point towards deep, spiritual events taking place regardless of the importance of their superficial appearances. You should be finding that you have the knowledge, strength, and inspiration needed to meet your challenges. In general, this is a very positive time for you. It is important to note though that to make the very most of this time you will need to do your part. Even though the Magician is a very positive card, it is all about potential. Past. Your confidence and creativity have allowed you to effectively make your ideas into reality. You have found success through intelligence and skillful execution. Present. Presently, there is a need for your knowledge and skills to influence the changes that are occurring. In order to make the changes beneficial, you must play your cards right. Future. The future before you is uncertain, presenting both risk and opportunity. The possibilities will be influenced by the friendships you have nurtured and the support you have from those who are close. A triumph or creative success may bring about a new beginning for you. The Magician is symbolic of action and power in your life. Its positive connotations illustrate someone who is a smooth talker and good at all aspects of communication. This card suggests using your strong willpower to move forward and take action. The answer to your question is yes. No key dates. Ruled by Mercury. Work. There will be an improvement in your work/career life. Particularly if your work is in a creative field, this is a time when your suggestions and work will be met with appreciation and may lead to bigger and better things. Bigger and better things are definitely a possibility. A promotion may be on the horizon, but even if it isn't, a pay rise might be. Whichever is the case, this is a time to sound your own trumpet and ask. As the saying goes, if you don't ask, you don't get. If you are out of work or thinking about changing jobs, this is an auspicious time to do so. Even if you think you've exhausted all the possibilities, you haven't, so if necessary, go back and repeat all the steps you have already taken and try again. Love. If you are in the market for a new romance, this is a time when you are likely to meet someone new. Right now, someone out there somewhere is looking for you just as you are looking for them. Whether they find you or not will depend on you. Don't sit at home expecting Mr/Miss Right to walk up your garden path and knock on the door, because they probably won't. You need to be out there making yourself available to be found, and this is an excellent time to do just that. Get out there and meet people. If you're in a long-term relationship already, then the relationship will very likely rise to new and deeper levels of commitment and enjoyment. Even if nothing very concrete seems to have changed when you think about it objectively, your perception of it will. Finances. Money should be on the upswing when this card appears, even if no feasible way for this to happen is apparent at the time you do your reading. Someone or something will appear that will allow you to make more money, whether this is an idea, a chance to do some work on the side, or even a new position. Have faith in yourself and your ability to succeed. That doesn't mean you should jump at every opportunity that comes your way. If it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is, but not automatically so. This card can sometimes manifest opportunities that appear that way but are the real deal. Always do your homework. Health. If you've been feeling ill, that will most likely end soon. This card signifies strength and / or the return of strength. If you do have some kind of ongoing health issue that hasn't gotten better, you may benefit greatly from undertaking some sort of additional alternative therapy such as nutritional counseling, massage, dietary restriction, and so forth. Spirituality. This is an excellent time for you to undertake some form of spiritual study that you've thought about in the past but haven't had the opportunity to pursue. You would also benefit from discussion groups that are spiritual in origin. A spiritual teacher may appear in your life now. This person will be an excellent mentor and will help you to have a new lease on life. Playing cards first entered Europe in the late 14th century, most likely from Mamluk Egypt, with suits of batons or polo sticks, coins, swords, and cups. These suits were very similar to modern tarot divination decks and are still used in traditional Italian, Spanish and Portuguese playing card decks. The first documented tarot packs were recorded between 1440 and 1450 in Milan, Ferrara, Florence, and Bologna, when additional trump cards with allegorical illustrations were added to the common 4-suit pack. These new decks were called Carte de Triomphe, triumph cards, and the additional cards known simply as Triomphe, which became trumps in English. The earliest documentation of Triomphe is found in a written statement in the court records of Florence, in 1440, regarding the transfer of 2 decks to Sigismondo Pandolfo Malatesta. The oldest surviving tarot cards are the 15 or so Visconti Sforza tarot decks painted in the mid-15th century for the rulers of the Duchy of Milan. A lost tarot-like pack was commissioned by Duke Filippo Maria Visconti and described by Marciano da Tortona probably between 1418 and 1425, since the painter he mentions, Michelino da Bisazzo, returned to Milan in 1418, while Marciano himself died in 1425. He described a 60-card deck with 16 cards having images of the Greek gods and suits depicting 4 kinds of birds. The 16 cards were regarded as trumps since in 1449 Jacopo Antonio Marcello recalled that the now deceased Duke had invented a novum quadam et exquisitum triumphorum genus, or a new and exquisite kind of triumphs. Other early decks that also showcased classical motifs include the Solabusca and Boiardo Viti decks of the 1490s. In Florence, an expanded deck called Minchiate was used. This deck of 97 cards includes astrological symbols and the 4 elements, as well as traditional tarot motifs. Although a Dominican preacher inveighed against the evil inherent in cards in a sermon in the 15th century, no routine condemnations of tarot were found during its early history. Because the earliest tarot cards were hand-painted, the number of the decks produced is thought to have been small. It was only after the invention of the printing press that mass production of cards became possible. The expansion of tarot outside of Italy, first to France and Switzerland, occurred during the Italian Wars. The most important tarot pattern used in these two countries was the Tarot of Marseilles of Milanese origin.